Welcome back, Sebastian here. So time for my review of the final race of the Formula E season, the London ePrix race 2. So it was a very, very long delay to actually get the race going. There was actually 2 failed attempts to get the race going under a safety car. We had 2 red flag periods, but an hour and a half late, we eventually got the race going. It started with Cassidy on pole and Evans second. It was very wet, which is why the race was so delayed, obviously. And it was started under a rolling start, so no standing start, but it was very, very tentative. Drivers were really cautious. I think, overall, given the conditions today, the drivers did really, really well on those tires. So Dennis tried to go for a move though, very early on Nato, but doesn't really have room. And Jeb and Bird both take attack mode on that opening lap, which is effectively lap 8 of the race. Lap 9, Nato and Evans both take attack mode, and Nato comes out behind Dennis, and this allows Dennis to build a really nice gap to Nato. So lap 10, following lap, when Cassidy and Dennis both take attack mode, along with Van Dorn, Dennis is able to stay in 3rd place and basically jumped Nato in the attack mode phase. Lap 11, Evans has built a 4-second gap over Dennis in 3rd. The top 2 in today's race, Cassidy and Evans, had a really, really excellent race and built an absolutely massive gap over the rest of the field. And Nato then goes and takes his 2nd attack mode to that lap. Lap 12, Dennis using a bit more energy than Cassidy and Evans, but they weren't really too concerned. However, there was a bit of concern about how many added laps there would be, given that we'd had effectively 7 laps behind the safety car. Lap 14, one of the few on-track overtakes of the race. Tictum overtakes Mortara for P10 at turn 9. So really good move there by Tictum. Lap 15, Evans takes 2nd attack mode, followed by Cassidy and Dennis. But they're very spaced out at this point, so there's very, very little action at the front of the field. However, in the lower midfield, there were some pretty good battles, especially between the other Andretti of Lauderer and the Mahindras and the Apps as well. Lap 16, DaCosta, they showed DaCosta with some front wing damage. Luckily, it didn't seem too structural, and he was able to continue. Lap 18, deGrassi putting pressure on DaCosta or on Jev, and him as well as DaCosta get past Jev. So good move there by deGrassi, kind of forcing Jev to the outside of turn 9, and DaCosta, opportunistic as well, gets past. Lap 19, the gap between Evans and Dennis was 7.2 seconds, so the gap just keeps building. Jev also at this point dropped to 19, so we dropped a couple more positions as well. Lap 22, Jev comes into the pits to change the tires. I don't know if he had damage or if he had a puncture, but he comes in and gets new tires. Lap 24, the gap again between Evans and Dennis continues to grow, this time 10.2 seconds. And Cassidy, when they showed the energy, Cassidy was the best among the leaders with a couple percent more than Evans and Dennis. Lap 26, Buemi makes a really important move for the team's championship, gets past Bird, gets up to P6 at turn 1. Lap 29, Tictum putting pressure on Muller, has a little look into turn 9, but doesn't get a move done. Lap 30, the Evans-Dennis gap is up to 12.1 seconds, and that was kind of the biggest the gap ever got today, but still a really, really big gap by Formula E standards. Lap 32, they announced 4 added laps, so there'd be 37 laps total. And then last couple laps, lap 35, lap 36, it was really Dennis, Evans, and Cassidy trading fastest laps just to see who can get that extra point. And also lower down, we didn't see this on track, but Fines overtook deGrassi for P17. Final lap of the race, Cassidy takes the checkered flag and Dennis takes the fastest lap to get that extra point for the fastest lap. And with the result, Envision were confirmed to be team's champion. So let's have a look at the result of the race. I just need to get my chair moved over. All right, so Cassidy, obviously, I believe 4th win of the season. Really good result for him. Evans 2nd, Dennis 3rd, Nato 4th, Van Dorn 5th, Buemi 6th, Bird 7th, Muller 8th, Tictum 9th. Good points for him to secure 9th for the Neo team. 10th Fairline, 11th Mortara, 12th Ras, 13th Steady Kamara, 14th Gunther, 15th Fenestra, 16th DaCosta, 17th Fines, 18th deGrassi, 19th Hughes, 20th Mary, 21 Lauder, and 22nd Vern. So, overall, no retirements, which given the conditions, really, really good job by the drivers today to keep it on the track. Showed that the tires, the Gen 3 tires can do pretty well in the wet. I think similar to F1 this weekend, it was kind of an issue of not the track, but it seemed like visibility was the primary concern. And just basically the moisture was just hanging in the air and it's too thick. So looking at your final result for the driver's standings provisionally, I know yesterday we had some disqualifications afterwards, so that kind of wreaked havoc with that, but hopefully none of that today. Dennis, of course, your driver's champion, 229 points, absolutely amazing season. Cassidy moves up into second, 199 points, two clear of Evans in third, 197. Long way back and forth now. Verline 149 points. It was kind of crazy to imagine that 4 races to go in the season. We were talking about a really, really tight 4-way title fight, and now Verline's basically 75 points behind Dennis. Fifth, Jev with 107 points. Sixth, Buemi moves up with 105, and then Gunther drops a spot with 101 points. Bird in 8th with 93, tied with Bird in 8th with 95. 9th is DeCosta with 93, and then 10th is Nato with 63. 11th is Van Dorn with 56, 12th is Hughes with 48, 13th is Ras with 40, 14th is Montara with 39, 15th DeGrasse with 32, tied with Fenestras, and then 17th is Tickton with 28 points, 18th is Lotto with 23 points, 19th is Muller with 15, and 20th is Seti Camera with 14. 21st is Rollins, who of course left partway through the year, and then 22nd is Frines with 6 points. 23rd is Murray, 24th is Vanderlinder, and 25th is Beckman, of course. The bottom 3 basically only part-time drivers this year. And I finally actually got space to fit it on the board, but taking a look at the team's championship, Envision wins that with 304 points, 12 clear of Jaguar with 292. Andretti are third, 252. For launch part of the season, looked like they were going to be nailed in on to 4th, so good on them to get up to 3rd, mostly carried by your driver's champion, Jake Dennis. 4th are Porsche with 242, 5th are DS Penske with 163, 6th are Maserati with 140, 7th Nissan 95, 8th McLaren 88, 9th Neo 42, 10th Mahindra 41, and 11th Abt in 20 with 21 points to round out. So really strange how with the team's championship, it's pretty much all the customer and manufacturer teams are basically paired together. Jaguar 1-2, Porsche 3-4, DS Penske 5-6, Nissan 7-8, and then of course Neo by itself, and then Mahindra at the bottom. So really showing how important the drivetrain and the powertrain and all that software is to Formula E. So, not a fantastic race. There wasn't a lot of overtaking. It's a very, very narrow and difficult track to overtake with to begin with. And I think the rain probably didn't help with that. That being said, I think a very, very enjoyable season in Formula E. Probably one of the best seasons in the series' history. I think much better than the later years in Gen 2, where it was basically an absolute lottery. And we had a really good title fight through the whole year. And I really enjoyed doing these videos. I think I will continue to do them again next year. Of course, a very, very long off season until January, but I will be doing some kind of season reviews for each team over the coming week or so. And of course, I'll probably do a look at winter testing in the fall, as well as some team previews in maybe December. So once you look at that, it's actually not too bad. And I think January will come very, very quickly. So thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.